Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far. So today's video on midterms and finals tips is a very applicable video for this time of the year. Upcoming finals season. So today my friend Jeffrey, who is a UBC Sauder student, and myself, a UBC Arts student, will be sharing what's worked for us so far in the midterms and finals rush. And just a disclaimer, this video isn't like your secret guide to getting A+'s on everything or 100% on everything. This is just what's worked for us so far in hopes of also helping you out. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get started. So my first tip is more of a routine actually, so I'm going to walk you through my pre-exam routine because I follow a very specific series of steps and it's really helped me focus every single time. I'll start planning out what to study around 2 weeks in advance. I don't like to overload myself with too many things to study every day, so I'll really split it up. And right now for organization, I just use Google Docs and also this online digital planner, which I will link down below if you want to grab your own copy. And on the day of the actual exam, I won't study too much just because I don't want to overload my brain. Around an hour before, I will take one last detailed look through my notes and just read everything over calmly and slowly. And then right before the exam, I'll grab some water, I'll make sure I fill up my water bottle, and then I always do this 3-minute meditation on YouTube where you just sit there and breathe, and I find that that really helps me zone in and focus. I'll also stay off my phone and social media apps around 1 or 2 hours before the exam so my brain doesn't get stimulated by the notifications. My second tip is kind of a 3-in-1 tip, and this one focuses on essay exams or just papers. For papers, I like to start 1 or 2 weeks in advance with just writing out the outline and also sending my TA my thesis and my main points before continuing to write the whole paper. In philosophy, I've had a case where I've written a whole paper and then sent over my main points for my TA to check, and he told me one of my points just wasn't valid at all, so I had to rewrite the whole thing. So now I save myself the pain by sending it over early. My second tip is to leave your paper for a few days or even a few hours after writing it, and then I guarantee once you come back to it and reread it, you will have new ideas and new points. Finally, don't be afraid to send it to 1 or 2 friends for feedback, even if it's just on something minor like word choice or grammar or the bigger ideas and structure. There will always be something you can do to improve your paper. It's better to get a friend's perspective on it and point out any major problems before handing it in. My third tip is especially for multiple choice and short paragraph midterms. When you do your readings throughout the weeks, make sure to write down any questions that you have, and this doesn't even have to be like straightforward questions. It could be just like deeper thinking questions that you think of while you go through the reading, and then go to your TA or prof's office hours and just ask those questions. And there are 2 reasons for this. The first is that you'll get your questions answered for sure, and also those deeper thinking questions will give you more of an enrichment and understanding of the material. And then the second reason is that you will feel more motivated to try harder in the course after interacting with the prof and TA. Whenever I go to office hours, I find myself being able to put a human face with all the material that we're taking in on a daily basis, so that really helps motivate me to keep going. My last tip is for quizzing yourself and how to actually retain all the information that you learn. For courses where you need to know a lot of terms, on top of my notes that I have already written throughout the course, when I study, I like to write them again all on Quizlet so that I have something to quickly reference, and this also helps me a lot with memorization. And for courses that are concept heavy, if you have a question like how are marriages being deinstitutionalized over the years, I like to just call up a friend and explain the concept to them because teaching someone is the best way to retain your memory. And if they're busy, then I just take a piece of paper and write out my answer in detail. The important takeaway here is that quizzing yourself is very, very essential each time you learn new information, even if you think you know it. Jeffrey will be taking over the next few tips.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me back on the channel. My name is Jeffrey and I've been in a few of Karen's videos so far. Alright, so today we're going to be going through some of the things that I personally have done in my major at UBC. So I'm a commerce major and my assessments might look a little bit different from Karen's, so I'll be walking you through what I usually do to prepare for my exams. Okay, tip number 1 is understand what type of course you're studying for. Whether it's a qualitative course or quantitative course, this will differ in terms of your strategy for studying. For qualitative courses, you're going to be doing a lot of repetition as you'll need to understand the theory behind some of these concepts. For example, this would be like biology or psychology or those types of things. In commerce, this would be something like organizational behavior. But moving into more quantitative courses, this would be like statistics or mathematics, where you would need a lot of repetition over time to really reinforce those ideas and how to apply them to your coursework. Okay, tip number 2 is understanding when you work best at. Some people work best in the mornings in terms of studying. Other people work best at night in terms of studying. For me, I work best at night when I study because that's when I can better connect the concepts together for some of my courses, and it's when I have the most motivation to really get things done. While in the mornings for me, I generally use that as prep time for my classes because I generally have my classes in the mornings. So understanding when you want to have your study sessions will be pivotal so you can leverage your energy and motivation levels to really grind things out, because definitely studying is a really hard task, and especially if you're really constantly looking at your phone or getting distracted, you need to figure out which parts of the day where you can be the most focused and you're the most motivated to just continue working. Okay, so tip number 3, I'll be running through what I usually do in terms of my nighttime routines with studying. The first thing I do is I scan through all of the content and the notes from my previous lectures, and then what I do is as I scan through, I'll highlight what I don't understand or what still needs improvement, and then I'll move back to the original slides from those lectures or textbook content if it's that type of course, and I'll do a side-by-side comparison of my notes and looking at the highlighted parts that I don't understand and the actual lectures with the full content or textbook notes. And that's how I'll actively recall this content. I'll be looking through and I'll be taking more notes along the way right beside the highlighted content so that I really understand what I'm doing. Okay, tip number 4 is understanding how the memory curve can be implemented into your routine. For myself, for qualitative courses where I need to understand theories, I spend about a week to 2 weeks worth of studying, and I pace it out for 30 minutes each day of repetition. And to explain that, I'll explain it through the memory curve. On one axis, it's going to be memory. The other axis, it's going to be time. And pretend this is a concept you learned. Over time, about a few hours, you'll forget about the concept. So in order to relearn it, you'll have to reinforce it by spending time again to learn it again. And that'll be fresh in your minds. You'll forget about it, you'll relearn it, and over time, through repetition, you'll know these concepts by heart. And this will really be effective for qualitative courses.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video helped you out, especially with final season coming up. I hope you did well in your midterms, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this channel out, and I will see you soon. Bye!